Greetings, fellow traders. Bubba here, and it's time for the daily market wrap for Friday, October the 2nd, 2020. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, let's check and see where we left off the market here today. So SPX, inside month so far, coming off of the dark cloud cover last month. Weekly chart finished green, right, coming off of the weekly hammer. So now we just kind of see what it's got in store here on the daily chart. Our suspicion is that wave one is done. So we have this moving up here. We are holding the 382 retrace, but it is very possible that we work our way back up for a wave B, and then we see maybe a wave C to possibly fill this gap fill and kind of get us around the 618 area, possibly at the bottom of the cloud, and then we start to work our way back up. So we just have to see. We got back under the 50-day moving average. We closed the 5 EMA or the 8 EMA. So we've got that going on here right now. So pretty interesting stuff there on SPX. Let's take a look at the SPY. So SPY again, looks like a little bit of a shooting star type candle on this one here today. So pretty interesting stuff there. But again, still over the 80 EMA under the 50-day moving average there on the SPY. Volume couldn't quite get over yesterday's high, as pretty much the rest of the afternoon was pretty boring. But we did have an exciting night last night, right? So if you took a look at the ES right here, POTUS test positive for COVID-19, and so we have a so we had a big drop last night, right? So this is an important area of interest, right? So this was where the market was trying to get to today to at least retest the area, and it couldn't quite tag that zone, right? It's got really choppy and grindy there, a little bit down here after hours, but a big push this morning, right? And then a nasty pullback right here, and then a big bounce between our signal zones, and then a push to the upside on that. Let's take a look at the MES. Okay, so the MES, very similar right here. Again, this is a big level that we need to try to get above here today. And of course, we're still going to check this going into Sunday night to see how the futures behave here. Off of these levels right here. So we're right at that geometric level right here, and then we'll see how it holds a couple of these other support and resistance areas on the S&P futures. The Qs, again, they gave us a lot of clues here this morning, right? So that it got really heavy right here. It started to flush here before the market itself. So it did help drag the market down a little bit, and then it got that crazy bounce right there, and then really choppy and kind of down here into the close as well. IWM. So this is kind of the standout one today. It's like, the IWM. So again, guys, there was some money flow today, right? So money flow out of tech, out of the big names, right? Out of the out of a lot of the big stuff right there, but the small caps were actually pretty strong here today, which is pretty interesting. So definitely something to note, right? So I mean, the whole market isn't flushing. We still had some green out there, right? So it feels like that we're still in that corrective pattern. That's why we're thinking we're working on a wave 2 right now on the ES, right, or on the S&P 500. So we've got that going on there. A couple other interesting names to note today to keep on. Obviously, let's take a look at Apple. Okay, so Apple gave a kind of a nice bounce right here, a little bit pullback and kind of choppy action today, a little bit hands off on that one. Tesla closed really weak today, guys. Really pushed down right here. I want to show you what happened. So it looks like we actually have an evening star reversal in the works here on Tesla, right? So we had a green day, real body above these bodies right here. Gap was filled, and we closed well over 50% of the range of this candle. And to me, it looks like it's targeting back down at least for this gap fill right here, and possibly a push down to the cloud, maybe even the bump trend line again. So let's see how that goes here off of this. But again, keep in mind it's Tesla, and morning star, evening star reversals, and evening star reversal. I might have said morning star reversal here. A lot of times they do give retrace before it works its way back down. So a little bit tricky there on Tesla, but still very interesting. Netflix is one to keep an eye on too. Down 24 points today, guys, all the way back down. Completely reclaimed yesterday's whole bullish range. It was crazy, and there's still a closing gap below right here. So what a reversal of what a big reversal day on Netflix. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on going to next week. If you guys remember from the game plan, I added Facebook to the bearish radar. I was on the other day. The reason is that we're really finding this 382 retrace here for a spinning top reversal, and that ended up playing out today pretty nicely. So it tried to work its way back up one more time. Once it failed, it did give a nice drop there, and it's actually drifting down a little bit there after hours. So pretty interesting stuff there on Facebook. But like I said, the IWM was still strong, and the banks were strong. strong today. So it's hard to be super duper bearish on the market when the banks are still hanging in there, right? So that was a big move today here. The XLF was good. Like I said, we ended up trading Bank of America today for a big pop here when the market was running. This had relative strength today and ended up closing pretty well. Another one with relative strength too is DKNG. So DKNG up 3% today, up almost 2 points, and just a huge bullish engulfing candle today after a big gap down, right? So it retested that inside day and bounced its way up off of that, and had a good follow through, and then a nice pop there towards the close. Another one too, if you look at sector rotation, the retail names were really, really weak recently, and then wow, big squeeze on these, right? So Macy's was breaking down here, right? Remember inside day, shooting star off the ADMA and then back down, and then a huge bullish engulfing candle there on Macy's. So let's see how that follows through. And oils, which has been really, really weak recently, maybe capitulating a little bit here. So Halliburton, right, was got crushed the last couple days, and a big reversal off of that one to get into yesterday's range. So a couple things to look at and to consider going into next week. We'll be reviewing all this stuff in the newsletter over the weekend. So if you're not a member, definitely look at subscribing. Check out the links in the description. We also have a private Twitter and a Discord chat group with a great group of traders, everything from Elliott Wave to the futures to harmonics. So really, really cool stuff there. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and stay healthy out there, and remember, risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys